And we're recording. All right, we're just gonna start at the back of our mat today. Starting in mountain pose, so standing feet about hip width apart, rolling the shoulders down the back, spreading out those fingertips, making this a strong stance, squeezing those kneecaps up, not locking the knees out, but just making those legs nice and strong, maybe picking up the toes and then setting them back down again on the mat. Maybe closing your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in as we lift the shoulders up and let it go down your back. Rolling the shoulder blades down the back. 2 more times, deep breath in and out. And 1 more time, in through the nose, holding it at the top, sipping in a little bit more air, and just letting it go. Now sealing those lips together. Moving into our Ujjayi breath, holding that restriction at the back of the throat. And maybe setting an intention for today's practice, whether that's strength or peace, whatever you need. Just thinking through that intention for 1 moment. Let's start to breathe and lifting those arms up high, reaching tall. And as you breathe out, bringing those hands to heart center, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Let's do that 2 more times, reaching and breathing. And bringing it down, exhale. Reach and breathe. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Let's reach up high 1 more time at the top. Let's catch that left wrist and lean right, opening up through the side body, each and every one of those ribs. On your next exhale, let's switch sides. So leaning to the left, opening up through the ribs, the underside of the arm. On your next inhale, let's reach the arms up high. We're gonna bend the elbows and just bring those hands behind your back. Baby cobra in the chest, little back bend, but also a nice little stretch in those triceps. And exhale, release. Let's bring those hands back behind, interlocking the fingers, rolling the shoulder blades down your back, opening up through the front of the chest, lifting the chin. Let's take a deep bend in the knees and start to pull those fingertips away from your spine as you bend down to the floor, keeping a generous bend in those knees. I'm going to turn this to the side, but stay with me. And maybe just giving a little sway side to side. Let's drop those hands down to the ground and just let the neck relax. Maybe shaking the head yes and no. Maybe shaking those elbows out. Let's start to slowly straighten through the knees, maybe keeping a little bit of a bend. We're gonna bring a deep bend into that left knee and reach the right arm high. So twisting to the right, feel a nice stretch down the IT band. Really great if you're having some sciatic issues in your hip and your knee. Exhale to release, and let's take that over to the other side. Bending the right knee, straightening the left leg. Not locking out, but straightening. And let's exhale, release. We're gonna walk on our hands, nice and slow to the front of our mat, into plank. Holding in plank for just a moment. And on your next exhale, pushing forward and chaturanga all the way down, nice and slow to the ground. On the inhale, baby cobra lifting up. Holding for the exhale. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. And exhale, release. Move into locust. So pulling those hands back. And on your inhale, we're gonna lift feet and body together. Inhale, lift. Also known as Superman, but we're doing mountain and nature-y poses today. So we're calling it locust today. On your exhale, release. Let's put the palms under our shoulders, tuck the toes, and pushing right back up into plank. On your exhale, bend the knees, scoop your tailbone into our first down dog of the day. Maybe you keep a little bit of a bend in those knees. Walk your dog, pushing one heel down and then the other. Keeping that breath going. Coming to stillness, let's move through our sun salutation, doing things a little bit differently. We're gonna walk our hands to our feet. So walking our hands to our feet. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, reaching the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Reach the arms high. Grabbing that left wrist. Bending to the right, inhaling into that side body, exhaling to release, other side. Inhaling into that side body, exhale, release, bending the elbows, little bend, little back bend. Exhale, clasp those hands behind, maybe taking the opposite grip this time. Rolling the shoulder blades back. Bending through the knees, leading with the chest, and then letting that head hang heavy. Drop the arms, halfway lift. Forward fold and walk those hands forward, all the way back into our plank. Chaturanga all the way down to the floor. I'm gonna do that baby cobra again, and then our locust. Release. Arms back, lifting the feet and the hands together. Inhale to lift. Hold for the exhale. Inhale, can you lift a little bit higher, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Exhale, release, pushing up into plank. And scooping it back into down dog. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Let's do one more round. So walking those hands to the feet. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, arms reach high. Hands come heart center. Inhale, reach. Grabbing that left wrist, leaning right. On your next exhale, releasing to the other side. On your next inhale, bending those elbows, little back bend, pulling those elbows together, deepen that tricep stretch. Exhaling, clasping hands together. On your exhale, forward fold, juicing those knuckles away from your tailbone, letting the head hang heavy. And drop those hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk it forward on the hands. Holding in plank for just a moment. And let's come up forward on those toes, chaturanga. This time your choice, up dog or cobra, whichever you like. And if you're in cobra and you want to take another locust, go for it. Or just pushing yourself straight into our down dog. Let's take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, sealing those lips once again, and let's move into our vinyasa flow. All right, lifting that right heel high,
we're gonna take that knee over to that right elbow. So right knee to right elbow, lifting high, pushing through those shoulder blades. And exhale, release to three-legged dog. On your next inhale, bringing it across to that opposite elbow, that left elbow, using those abs to squeeze and lift and twist. And exhale, release. This time, we're gonna step it into a lizard. So bringing that right foot out to the outside edge of the mat, on the outside of that right hand. We're just gonna keep it in a high lizard right now. Maybe putting that right hand on your knee, maybe just moving around, getting into that hip flexor, maybe giving a little bounce here and there. Just working it around, loosening things up there. Let's just heel toe our foot back into the center of our hands. We're gonna spin that left foot down and reaching high. Inhale, warrior one. And holding for the exhale. Maybe bringing those hands together up high, maybe sitting a little bit lower in that right leg. On your next exhale, spin it all the way to the side, 5-pointed star. And on your exhale, we're gonna sit this down into a goddess pose, an earth goddess pose, of course. So, hands come out wide. We're squeezing those shoulder blades together once again. Can you sit just a little bit lower? And those legs, woohoo. On the exhale, pointing that star way up high again. Ah, feels good. All right, we're gonna Skandasana over to the back of the mat. Feel free to keep that Skandasana high, or if you want to take it a little bit lower, slightly different stretch. Your heel may or may not come down to the ground, that's all right. If you need a little extra support, keep those fingertips down, or you can start to play with your balance, maybe bringing those hands to your heart center. All right, since we're still kind of warming up, let's use those fingertips. Let's take it over to the other side, Skandasana to the front. And remember, you've got choices here, so keeping it high, slightly different stretch, closer to the top of the groin. We bring it down, moves the stretch down the leg a little bit. Your choice. All right, let's spin this to the front. We're gonna step those feet together. Inhale, sitting it down into chair, Utkatasana. Holding for the exhale. Let's just move those arms straight out in front of us. What we're gonna do is sit down nice and slow all the way to our bottoms. Nice and slow. And then popping those feet up into a high boat. Holding here for just a moment. We'll make this a little harder on the next round. And grabbing those knees, taking a little roll. Maybe rolling a few times since we're still warming up the spine and it feels good. Eventually you're gonna make your way into plank. So maybe shooting those legs out and moving through Chaturanga and finishing off your Vinyasa. Up dog or cobra and down dog. Let's do that all over again on the other side. Lifting the left leg high. Left knee to left elbow, pushing high in those shoulder blades. Exhale, release. Inhale, other side, twisting, using those abs, lifting high. Exhale, release. And stepping it out into lizard. So stepping wide, outside of that left palm. Again, here we're just gonna stay up in a high lizard. Just move yourself around, maybe twisting left and right, moving back and forth, opening up that hip flexor. Just getting comfortable, loosening things up. Let's heel toe our foot to the center and spinning that left leg down, reaching high, warrior one. Stay right where you are, but maybe bending a little bit deeper in that front left leg. I'm just gonna turn myself around. All right, on your exhale, let's open it up, 5-pointed star. Big inhale. I don't know why it always makes me want to inhale deeply in 5-pointed star. And then bringing it down into our Earth Goddess pose. Can you sit a little deeper? Can you squeeze those shoulder blades together? All right, this time, Skandasana over to the right, high or low. Choose your own adventure. On your next inhale, Skanda to the other side. Playing with balance if you like. And let's spin this around, coming into our low lunge and stepping those feet together. Inhale, reach, chair pose, Utkatasana. Holding for the exhale. Let's put those arms out in front of us. You know where we're going, sitting it down, nice and slow, all the way to the ground. Ooh, boy, coming up into that boat. So pointing the toes, squeezing the belly button in. And let's have some fun. Let's roll back. Maybe give your spine a few rolls. Up and down, nice little massage action, right? Let's come through into our plank. And vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Ah. That's why down dog feels like a resting pose sometimes. All right, deep breath in through the nose. Let it out. All right, moving into round 2. Same drill, we're just gonna add on a little bit, make things a little bit harder. So lifting high with that right heel. This time, bringing that right knee to the right elbow. Option here to do a chaturanga push-up. Resting that right knee on that right elbow. Pushing it back into our 3-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, squeezing and lifting. Exhale, release. This time, stepping it into our lizard pose. And in lizard now this time, let's get a little deeper. So let's bring that knee down to the mat, now that we're loosened up a little bit more. And this may be enough. This may be more than enough. But if you'd like to go a little deeper, maybe coming down onto those forearms. Maybe you can get all the way down onto both forearms. For me, I'm good with just this left forearm down. That is as deep as I need to go. Breathing through all of the tightness. All right, let's pop back up on that left foot, heel toeing back to center, and spinning that left heel down. Inhale, warrior 1. And you sit nice and low in that front leg. Turning our shoulders, our hips, square to the front. On the exhale, 5-pointed star. Hello. On the next exhale, we are sitting it down into that goddess pose. This time, let's add a little movement. So, a little dancing goddess. I don't know if that's really what it's called. I just made that up. We'll go with it. On your next inhale, reaching high for the stars. Exhale, Skandasana to the back. And let's try to go hands-free, Skandasana to the front. Oh, that's always a tough one. Tougher on the next round still. All right, spinning it to the front, stepping those feet together. Utkatasana, chair pose. Reaching high, but trying to keep those shoulders away from the ears. I know it's tough. Let's reach those arms out in front and sitting it down nice and slow. Whoo-hoo, I don't know about you, my legs are shaking already. All right, now I promised you more intensity on this second round, so we're gonna take it from a high boat and moving it down into low boat. High and low. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, hover. Last time. This time, hold that hover. Just hold it for another moment. Ah! Do what I say, not what I do. All right, roll it back and find your way to down dog. Moving through that vinyasa. Deep inhale through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. Sealing those lips once again. Round 2 on the other side. Lifting that left heel high. Bringing that left knee to left elbow. Remember, option here, chaturanga push-up. And pushing it back into that 3-legged dog. Twisting and lifting. Other knee, elbow. Lifting high. And stepping it into our lizard pose. So again, working into that deeper option here, untucking the toes. Maybe this is plenty for you. Maybe working your way down onto those elbows. Just if you are down here, wherever you are, try not to hold any tension in that neck. Let it go. And make sure you're breathing even through those toughest points. All right, let's tuck the toe, lifting the knee again. Heel toe that left foot in. And spinning that right heel down, warrior 1. Trying to square off those hips, those shoulders to the front. On your next exhale, 5-pointed star. I'll turn it around so I can see you and you can see me. Exhale, goddess pose. Dancing goddess again, here we go. So just giving it some movement side to side. Breathing. Thank you, Mother Earth. All right, skanda to the back of your mat, which is now my front. But you know which way you're going. Okay, trying it hands-free again. Moving to the other side, up and over. Oh, hello. Hello, legs. And let's spin this over to the front. Stepping those feet together, moving into Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit low with that behind, proud chest. All right, reaching those fingertips out in front of you. Let's sit it down nice and slow. Oh, hello. Those legs are getting tired, I bet. Okay, high boat. We're gonna work this low boat, high boat. Here we go. Low and hover. Inhale to lift. Breathing through the intensity. 2 more. Lift and hover. Whew. And hover, hover, hover. Don't let it go. All right, take your rolls and move through your vinyasa. Meet you in down dog. Ah. All right, we are on the brink of round 3. Here, feel free to pop down into child's pose, take a little breather, grab some water if you need it, and then we'll move into our final round. When you're ready, pushing yourself up back into your down dog. Let's add on just a little more intensity this time. So we're gonna start out the same way, lifting that right leg high. Can you just push the heel a little bit higher, squeezing those glutes together? All right, remember chaturanga push-up, bringing that knee to elbow, that's your option. Holding for that chaturanga and pushing it back into our 3-legged dog. right knee to left elbow, squeezing and lifting. Can you lift a little higher? And exhale, release, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping it into lizard. Going ahead and dropping down on that knee. Option here, you can come down to your elbows again, like we did last time. If you want to get a little stretch action in that quad. Open up through the knee, so you're just gonna kind of push that knee open. And if you're ready, if it's available to you, reaching for those left toes. Opening up through the chest. So now we've got a nice little quad stretch going, and we're opening the hip at the same time. Coming up to the pinky edge of that right foot to open out that knee. And let's exhale, release, heel toe it into the middle, tucking the toe up on that knee, spinning that left foot down. Warrior one. Can you make this the most kick-ass warrior you've done all day? Nice and low in that front leg. Maybe joining those hands, those palms together at the top. I don't know why, that makes it so much harder. And on the next exhale, five-pointed star, open it up. Ah, it feels good. All right, sitting it nice and low into our goddess, squeezing those shoulder blades together. This time, we're gonna lift the heels. And if you wish, maybe dancing on those toes. Whew. That'll get you shaky. All right, drop those heels, Skandasana to the back of the mat. All right, here, options. You can always take a bind if you're ready. And need a little bit more. Playing with that balance. If you're in a bind, unwind. We're gonna try to make it over to the other side. Can you do it without any hands? Oh, ha. That's a lot harder after a bind. Maybe binding on this side. Maybe your fingertips find each other, maybe they don't. All right, and spinning it to the front of your mat. Whew. Stepping those feet together. Utkatasana, chair pose, lifting. Let's hold in chair pose for just a smidge longer than we have before. Since this is our last and final round. Up that intensity. Can you sit a little lower? All right, hands out in front. Sitting it all the way to the ground. Nice and slow, slow, slow. Give me that boat. Okay, this time we're gonna row, row, row our boat. So bringing those hands to heart center, and we're just gonna row from side to side as we hover. So rowing, twisting, squeezing that belly button in. Two more on each side. That's a one. Last time, two. Holding it in high boat. Let's relax, rock and roll. Hopping it back into plank and move through that vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Maybe shaking out the legs. They're a little wobbly. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it out. Okay, last and final round. I'm just gonna turn myself around so I can be up in the right position for later. Lifting that left heel high. Bringing the left knee to left elbow, option, chaturanga push up here. Pushing it up back into that three-legged dog. Twisting and lifting. Left knee to right elbow. Can you push a little higher? And let's push it back, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping it into our lizard pose. That left leg comes out wide. Go ahead and drop that right knee down. Option, you can just stay here, hang out here on your elbows if you like, or on your hands, your choice. If you need a little more action, maybe starting to push that knee open, coming onto that razor edge of your left foot. And if you need it even a little bit more, reaching for those right toes. So Throwing that quad stretch in there with it. Opening up the chest, maybe looking up behind and over your left shoulder. But if that bothers your neck, just keep your neck relaxed and neutral. All right, let's release. Tucking the toes, heel toe that left foot in. Up we go, spinning that right foot down, reaching high. Warrior one, sitting nice and low, making it your most kick-ass warrior of the day. Even more kick-ass than the last one. Exhale, 5-pointed star. Ah, it's a joyous pose. Gotta squeeze those shoulder blades together. And let's push up, lifting those heels. Maybe this is plenty. If you want to play with your balance even a little bit more, dance on those toes. Ballerinas. All right, dropping the heel, Skandasana, here we go. So remember your options here. Just playing with your balance, hands to heart center, or maybe taking that bind, your choice. Or leaving those fingertips on the ground if you need a little more support. No problemo. All right, hands free. Let's go to the other side. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And again, if you want to take a bind, go right ahead. All right, let's spin it to the front. Stepping those feet together, sitting the bottom low, reach high, rolling those shoulder blades down your back. Let's hang on to this chair for just a little bit longer. Last chair of the day, let's make it count. Even if you're shaking, breathe through it. Let's put those arms out in front of us, sitting it down nice and slow, all the way to the ground. High boat first, pointing those toes, getting comfy. All right, let's row our boat. So bringing those hands together, heart center. Let's row it side to side. Let's go left side first this time. Row, row, row your boat. We've got 3 more on each side. Don't forget to breathe. Whew. We're on our last one, you guys. Twisting, twisting, and hold it in high boat. Let's relax, rock and roll. Hopping it back into our plank. And move through that last vinyasa. Exhale, down dog. Good work. All right, we're done with our vinyasa flow. Just gonna do a little bit more strengthening now. Real quick, let's take one more little break. So maybe popping down into a child's pose, hanging out here, grabbing another drink of water if you need it, which I'm going to grab. I decided to go with the fan off today, and it is feeling very warm in here. All right, so if you're in child's pose, start to walk those arms over to the right. One more little stretch in the side body. And let's walk those arms over to the left. Breathing through each of those ribs. All right, let's move into dolphin pose. We've got some options here. So if you're in dolphin, putting those hands out, elbows out 90 degrees, kind of like a shortened down dog. So walking those feet in just a little bit. And then maybe just staying here in dolphin, maybe playing by lifting one leg and then the other, or if it's available to you in your practice, maybe joining those hands together, making a little triangle with your head and moving into headstand, which I have not done in a while, but we'll see how it goes. Breathing through your pose, especially if you're in headstand. Don't hold your breath. If you're done with dolphin, feel free to go back into that child's pose. If you're in headstand, slowly bringing those knees down and the toes and pushing it back into child's pose for just a moment. Deep breath into the nose, let it out through the mouth. Straightening out those legs and coming back onto the elbows, kind of like we were in dolphin, but letting that belly come down to the ground, moving into Sphinx pose. So cobra with the chest, proud chest. You should feel a nice little back bend at the lower back. Breathing. And let's tuck the knees and push it back into our child's pose again. Bring those knees together so we can make sure we release any tension we built up in that lower back with that Sphinx pose. All right. Next, we're gonna move into a frog pose. So it's another hip opener. Just coming down into your elbows, and then you're just going to work your knees out wide. So frog pose can take many forms. So kind of just do a form of frog that works for you. So that might mean that you're walking your elbows forward a little bit, or it might mean walking your elbows back a little bit, or somewhere kind of in between. It's kind of where I am, bringing those toes out wide. But wherever you are in frog pose, you should be feeling a nice hip opening stretch right down the center. Have to admit that frog pose has always been a bit uncomfortable for me. It's very intense, so I had to work myself up to doing frog pose in this class. Breathing. It's one you could kind of just sit in for a while, maybe watching TV one night, and you'll see fast improvement the more you do it. All right, let's work our way out of frog pose. So what I recommend is pushing up to those hands and then just working your knees in one at a time so we're not kind of getting a cramp in there. All right, let's work our way back into down dog, setting up for pigeon. Lifting that right heel high and swinging it through behind that right wrist. Squaring off those hips. Maybe finding an upright stretch first in the hip flexor. And when you're ready, sleeping that pigeon down. Maybe that's coming down to your elbows. Or if it's available to you, maybe working your way all the way down to the floor. Whatever you do, try not to hold your breath in pigeon. It's an easy thing to do. We hold so much tension in those hips, especially working desk jobs all day, every day, sitting in that position at our desks. We really need these hip stretches. So hang out here in sleeping pigeon if you like, or if you'd like to take a mermaid, an upright variation, another quad stretch. And wherever you are, mermaid or still in pigeon, release. Let's work our way back into a down dog. Kind of a lazy down dog. Shake out that right knee, that right hip. Move it around, maybe give it a few wags in the air. Loosen it up. Let's go to the other side. So lifting that left leg high. Swing it through. Getting set up, squaring off those hips. Maybe taking it upright. You could even work in one of those elbow bends from earlier in class if you like. And when you're ready, Sleeping that pigeon. Might be slightly different for you on this side, maybe a little less flexible, maybe a little more flexible. So again, maybe coming to those elbows is plenty. Plenty of intensity. Maybe you need a little bit more. Maybe you can sleep it all the way down to the ground. And if you need even a little bit more, you might swing that left arm over the top and over to that right hip, adding just a little bit more pressure, little light pressure. Breathing fully and deeply. Focusing on the breath to help you get through the tension. And if you took an upright variation on the other side, you'd like to take one on this side, go for it. We'll hang out here for 3 more breaths. All right, let's release, coming back to that down dog, shaking through, shaking out that left knee, maybe wagging the hip around. All right, coming into a full expression of down dog. And we're just gonna bend the knees and hop it through to seated. Putting those legs out straight in front of us, reaching high, and let's bind our big toes with our first 2 fingers. Bringing those elbows out wide, nice flat back. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to lower into that hamstring stretch. Inhaling to lengthen once more. Exhaling to deepen. Bringing that head a little closer to those knees. All right, let's just drop our hands to the ground, just ragdoll, let that head hang heavy. And we're just gonna roll up. Stretching through the neck, the back, and roll yourself all the way down, 1 vertebrae at a time, to your back. Bring those arms out wide to a T. Let's bring that right leg up, shifting the hips over to the right just a little, and letting it fall over to the left. Supine twist. Taking a look over that right shoulder. Maybe taking that left palm on top of the right knee to deepen the stretch. On your next exhale, let's help that knee up. Switching it over to the other side. Maybe taking that right palm to the left knee to deepen that stretch. And on the exhale, bring those knees in together, squeezing them to your chest. Maybe taking a happy baby here, if you like. We've been doing a lot of rolling around on our backs, but what the heck, what's one more? Our backs do a lot of work, they deserve it. All right, bringing those knees in one more time. Pulling them in, tucking your chin, lifting the head. And let's relax into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Starting to return our breath to normal, letting go of that restriction in the back of the throat. Returning our thoughts to the intention that we set for today's practice. And checking in with each
part of our bodies. Maybe squeezing those fingers in, making a tight fist, and then just letting it go. Feeling the difference between the tension and the relaxation. Maybe scrunching your eyebrows together, knitting them together, squeezing your face, and then just let it go. And keep that full expression of the relaxation. Dropping your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Maybe opening your jaw, or maybe even taking your fingertips and massaging your jaw just a little bit, getting it to loosen up and let go. And just melting into your mat. Taking just a few more moments for yourself today. Letting go of any anxiety, any thoughts of what's coming next for your day. And as you're ready, let's take a good morning stretch. So reaching those arms over your head, pointing your toes. Big breath in. And let's roll to our sides. Staying here for just one moment in this supported pose. And let's push ourselves back up to seated. Bringing our hands to heart center, bowing our chins, and feeling gratitude for today, for this week, for this month, hot as it may be, for this year, strange as it may be. Thank you for joining me today. Hope to see you next time. Namaste.